Welcome to tonight's Billionaire Book Club. We are back at it again for part 2. We're going to be going through the fantastic book, of course, Go Pro. And that's the 7 steps to becoming a network marketing professional. So I hope you all, you got your tea, you got your notebooks, you got your markers, your pens, because it's going to be a really amazing discussion. But what I want to open up with is a thought actually from Napoleon Hill. And you know what he shared? He said, all the breaks you need in life wait within your imagination. Because imagination is the workshop of your mind, capable of turning mind energy into accomplishment and wealth. And I'm sure each and every one of us who are on this line tonight are looking to be able to gain those things in our lives, which is why we are readers, which is why we put in the work, we put in the effort. And tonight is no different. So I'm looking forward to an amazing discussion with each and every one of you as we share, as we look to encourage and upbuild each other, because we live with success in mind here, in this book club. So for those of you who are, new to the group, my name is Havilah Malone out of New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm a fellow business partner just like yourself and always looking to be able to grow, to learn, to expand. And so we are actually going into part 2 of Go Pro. So we're going to start in chapter 6, and we always record our calls and they're available on YouTube at Havilah Malone. And you can go back and, pick up bits and pieces, that you were like, that was good. I need to remember what was said, so it's always available to you, and you can share it with anybody who may have missed the discussion. So we're super excited to get started. And matter of fact, I think even that Napoleon Hill quotes, I think it's just perfect because it's a new little, notebook, because we're always taking notes. We're always, taking those thoughts from our mind, putting it down on paper. When we do our prospecting list, we put it down on paper. So it's always good to have a great notebook. And the message of this one, it says, today is the perfect day to start living your dreams. Now, ain't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? So let's get started without any further ado. And then please, I'm going to leave the lines open because I want this to be an ongoing discussion where you're sharing, hey, those bits, those pieces that really impacted you and that you found value in, because we all will find value in it as well. So, Eric Worre, who is the writer of the book Go Pro, this man has over 20 years of experience in network marketing. And he had an aha moment. He was at a company event, in the network marketing field, and he made a decision. He decided to go pro, to become a professional, to become an expert at what he was doing so that he can go to the top in his company and in his business. And he did that very thing and now shares his knowledge as a multi-millionaire and very successful in this industry. So we've already discussed, and gone through the background of how network marketing, it's not perfect, but it's just better, right? Right? And we've gone through, some of the things that we can do, like creating that active candidate list. And those things that we discussed from chapters 1 through 5 are in our part 1 videos. You can go back and check that out. So what we're going to be talking about and starting today on, which is skill number 3 in chapter 6. And that's going to be in presenting your product or opportunity to your prospect. So that's going to be on page 67. So
say that again, Havilah.
That's going to be on page 67 is where we're going to be starting in chapter 6, which is skill number 3. So we've already talked about how to find prospects. We've talked about how to invite those to a product or opportunity. And now we're going to be talking about skill number 3, presenting your product or opportunity to your prospects. Because of course you came into a business. Now you have this business, you have an amazing product, which that in this business is travel. So now we want to be able to actually share that information with people. So how can we do that? So Eric Worre, he says the most important thing, and this is from page 67 going to 68, says the most important thing I could do was to become an expert on all the facts associated with my company. See, that's what he thought. He was like, I could become an expert on all of these facts. And what he found was that he was constantly telling people, you know, let me tell you about the product. Let me tell you about the company. Let me tell you about all these things that are going on. But that wasn't what the professionals were doing. It wasn't what the professionals were doing. Right. And of course, when you want to be successful, you got to follow the trail to success, right? So he was spending all his time asking questions and then answering questions. And then when he couldn't answer those questions, the people was like, oh, well, maybe this opportunity really isn't all that. Maybe this opportunity really, you know, because he was getting stumped. But he said, prospect, and they already knew that he wasn't an expert. So they will become more skeptical. So he became even the go-to guy for presentations. Like, he was going and doing everything. and how many of us came into this business because we wanted to free up our time? We wanted financial freedom. We wanted, time freedom. We wanted personal freedom. We came into this for that. So by putting yourself up above the tools that are in place, you are actually doing exactly the opposite of what you came into this business for. So
he said, I like that he said in the early days, that's what network marketing was for me, a job. So he created a job for himself. It was a second job. It wasn't what it was meant to be. It wasn't the tool he wanted it to be, was to, like you said, create that time freedom, the personal freedom, the financial freedom. He just got another job.
Exactly. Exactly. How many of us, when we first came into this opportunity, because you were super excited, and so you wanted to tell everybody everything about the opportunity. You was like, girl, you got to check out this compensation plan, and oh my goodness, you get to travel around the world. We got these fam trips. Oh, and then we got these other things. So you just telling everybody everything.
You're verbally vomiting.
Yes. Yes. As opposed to using the process, doing what the pros do. So he says the pros, this is on page 69, he says the pros never presented themselves as an expert. They acted as a consultant who connected the prospect to tools, events, or other distributors to help them become educated. Because in network marketing, it doesn't matter what works. It only matters what duplicates.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Is that not powerful? And it also takes the pressure off of you.
Right.
The pressure that you don't have to know everything. Because a lot of times what holds a lot of people back when they first come into the opportunity is, well, first I got to learn everything. Like I didn't know all the information, and then I can go out and talk about it. Then I can go out and share it. But using the process, using that duplicatable process will help you where you don't have to learn everything.
Right.
And you will.
That's what he said his third problem. He said his third problem was that, what if somebody didn't want to learn everything? What if they weren't a go-getter? What if they weren't like him and just want to just take off to the races? You can't duplicate that. That would have scared me if that's what I saw. I don't have time to learn all of that. I have time to do all of it. The whole point of this is so that I can get time. You tell me in this, and I have to work a full-time job. I don't think I want to do this.
And then when we share it,
and it's like we're taught to become master inviters.
Yes.
So.
Yes. It says that the pros bring passion, enthusiasm, excitement, and belief. That's what a pro brings to the table. Now, when I was reading this, what came to my mind, and I don't know what, like belief system that each and everybody has on this, call and whatever that is, excellent. But this reminded me of, I said, wow, I was like, Jesus was like the greatest network marketer of like all time. I was like, because he would always say, it is written, or my father said. It was never about him. And so it reminded me, it's like, okay, we have events. We have, the 9-minute video. We have the 24-hour opportunity call. We have all of these tools. We have our 3-way calls with our senior partners or even sideline partners. So it's better to refer to those tools and use those as opposed to saying, okay, I know it all. I got it all. Listen to me. Look at me. Because nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah, and it's really a matter of working smarter and not harder, because if the process is already in place, then you can take that process and go with it. For me, the challenge would have been, well, I can't think of a way to do this the best way or whatever the case might be, but that's already been done. That work's been done. So now I can take what's already done. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and then go from there. So that's to me, that's working smarter instead of harder.
Yes. I love it. And then one of the things that he brings out as well, and this is on page 71, he said, people are interested in your story. Not about how much you know. They're interested in your story because people want to be able to identify with you. Like, do you really get me? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, you don't know my struggle. You don't know my story. So when we are able to share our experiences and our story, that's what's going to connect people. And it brings out that there's actually 4 elements that are important in any story. So anybody want to share what those 4 elements are? And that's on page 71.
The first one is your background, the things you didn't like about your background, how network marketing or the company, well, how Planet Marketing came to the rescue, and your results or how you feel about your future now.
Absolutely. And there's even in the paragraph right before that, it actually goes through a little brief synopsis of what Eric Worre's story was. You know, how he was failing in business before, and you know, he was looking for something different, and then he found network marketing, and it wasn't easy at first, but then this was what has now led to his financial freedom. And so for every one of us, like, there's a reason why we came to this opportunity. There's a reason why we chose network marketing. So we have a story. Even if this is day 1 for you in this business, you still have a story. If this is month 4 for you in this business, you have a story. So get clear about what your story is, and then be ready to share that, because that's what's going to connect people to you and to the product and to the business. So that was really important. Something that I found that was like really, I was like, oh, yes, indeed. It's like, that's good. You know? And he also talked about becoming a master at the company's presentation. Now, see, that's what I want to pull you out to the mat right now, right here, right now. How many people on this line are running away from actually doing the presentation, from getting up in front of the crowd at the travel party? You know how?
Don't do it, because Havilah will drag you in front of the party, and she will make you.
I know. Don't be close to me, because trust me, I'm gonna get you in front of that crowd. I'm gonna make sure you get out there.
And see, with me, it's not even in front. My first presentation is tomorrow on Zoom, and I'm like, oh my god,
Congratulations!
Fantastic.
And Angel was like, you got this. Don't worry about it. It's okay. And I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And I'm not even in a room full of people.
Fantastic. Let me tell you something. That's extraordinary, because quite frankly, anything that you are just beginning, you're not, like, you can go out of the gate and be great at it. Fantastic. But you know what? You may or you may not be. But the way you get good at it is by doing it. Becoming a master at doing the presentation. And he even shared, Mr. Worre shared, that when he would go and watch presentations, they were doing the same presentation over and over and over and over, almost where it was word for word with the information that was being shared. So it's not about, I got to have all these bells, all these whistles. You have a powerful product with an amazing company. You have a story, and you have energy and passion and enthusiasm, and that's what will connect with people. That's what will draw people. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
And I was like, I feel better because I could turn the camera off and won't nobody see me. But see, now that you say that, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave the camera on. I have to face my fear, get out my comfort zone, and just do it.
Yes.
Yes.
He said the person with the marker makes the money. Thank you. Get your markers. Look, ladies and gentlemen, get your markers. Yes.
Get your markers.
That's what I'm talking about. So that is going to be so beneficial, is to actually just do it. And it doesn't matter how it comes across, because there was something that even Miss Deborah Harden said when I first came into this business. She said, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So you just have to go out there and do it, and do it. Art Williams said, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I'm going to do it then.
We We can't wait to hear how everything goes and how you making progress with those presentations.
Awesome.
Who have not stepped up to the plate yet, it's time. And one of the things that when I first came into this business, what I did, every time there was a presentation, I would be there. Every time, whether it was an online presentation, an in-person presentation, so I could just hear it over and over and over and over again until I was like, I got it. I'm going to do that. So in summarizing that skill number 3 about presenting your product or opportunity on page 75, who wants to share with us that first point in summarization?
This is Annette. It says, when you are prospecting, you are the messenger, not the message. Get yourself out of the way and use a third-party tool.
Mm-hmm. And we have some good tools. We have some really good tools, so use them, especially that 3-way call. Using that edification process, that 3-way call will help to skyrocket your business so much because guess what? It's bigger than any of us. It really is. So number 2, who wants to share number 2 with us?
Learn to tell your story in a way that will make your prospects curious to hear more.
Mm-hmm. You want them out there like Curious George, like, wait, what? Tell me some more. Give me some more. Yes, and number 3. Who's got number 3 for us?
When it comes to presenting in front of a group of people, preparation is the key. When you're prepared, it's fun.
Yes, thank you, Miss Beverly. Absolutely. So that brings us right on in to chapter 7. This starts on page 77. That's skill number 4, was to follow up with your prospects. And let me tell you something, and even as Mr. Worre writes it here, the fortune is in the follow-up. It's in the follow-up. And quite frankly, that's what marks you as a professional in anything that you do, that you honor your word, that you do the things that you say that you're going to do, because then I can trust you. Then I know I can rely on you because you're going to be about what you say you're about. That is key. So he talks about like how people, like, they're going to respect that from you. If you have a call with somebody and they say, you can reach back out to me at 3:15. What time do you need to call that person?
3:15.
Right?
3:15.
Not 3:16, not 3:23, 3:15. And I love the example that was given about the gentleman who had an appointment with Mr. Eric's father. Anybody want to share about that appointment?
So I don't even have to look in the book for that. So his dad had an appointment with the gentleman at 10 a.m. And the gentleman showed up at like 9:55. And he was like, well, my dad will be here shortly, just have a seat. And it came 10 o'clock and he was like, well, hey, I got to go. Like, well, give him a few minutes and he'll be here. He was like, no, if he tells me 10 o'clock, he needs to be here at 10 o'clock. That means he doesn't value my time. He can call me to reschedule. I was like, whoa.
Woo.
Yeah.
Either you are on time or you're late.
You're late.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Period. And so often, and I would say, especially here in the South, people kind of like laissez-faire, they're a little, whenever I get there. But we can't have that kind of attitude because your time is valuable. And when you value your own time and you value other people's time, they'll value your time too.
Right.
And it'll change and shift the way your life is going when you are more cognizant of your time, because at the end of the day, time is money.
Yes, it is.
That's moolah, baby. Waste.
Yes, it is.
And so he talks about concept number 2 in this following up with your prospects. And he says the only reason to have an exposure is to set up the next exposure.
Oh my goodness.
Make an appointment from an appointment.
Oh my goodness. Okay, mind blown. Because, I'm the shoot 'em up, bang, bang. I like bang, 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 bang. I love beat them with a hammer. Get on. Can you just see this and sign up? This was so, I love this. It's just making expose and then expose again and then expose again. and then expose again until they get it. Because just because I got it doesn't mean they're going to get it.
Yes.
I think I have to read this like 4 or 5 times. I marked this whole book up for concept number 2.
Yes. It is about exposure to exposure. In the industry, they call that BAM-FAM, BAMFAM. Book a meeting from a meeting. Book
BAM-FAM
from a meeting. Every time, because remember, and even as Mr. Eric Worre shares with us, our job is to help educate people and to help them understand. That's our job, which means, because it takes multiple exposures for somebody to, for the most part, to make a decision. So it's not just like, okay, I shared this opportunity with you one time, you ain't ready to make a decision, like you ain't coming in my business, like what's really going on? That's not how it works. And think about yourself. Did it work that way with you? Probably not. I know me, you came back buku time. So I made a decision. But it's about setting up the next meeting, setting up the next exposure. And if you miss that opportunity to set up that exposure because you're scared to ask, see, don't be scared to ask. There's even a scripting in this book that shares with you exactly how you can set up that next meeting. So ask for it, because if you let that slip, then that may be somebody who is slipping away. And all your job is to educate and help them understand. And that makes it takes the pressure off for us.
Absolutely.
Let's say, keep hope alive, keep the process alive. That's what we got to do. Yeah, and then, matter of fact, because a lot of times we're running into a situation where, you send somebody, a video, or you send them, the information, and they're supposed to check it out, and you follow back up with them, and what happens? They're like, oh, they didn't watch it yet. Oh, they didn't yet. And he said the best way to respond is on page 80. He says the best way to respond is, that's okay. I understand sometimes life gets busy. When do you think you could do it for sure, for sure? Isn't that brilliant? When do you think, let's double check here. When can you do it for sure, for sure? And then let them commit to when they're going to do it, and you just go back through the process again to be able to get that confirmation, double check the confirmation, and then set up that next appointment that you're going to have with them after they had a chance to actually review the tool that you sent. And then, of course, we all familiar with this, your follow-up question. So after you just show somebody the opportunity, what do we ask? What's the only one question that we ask people?
What did you like best?
Yes, about what you've seen or heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care what you thought. Oh, I do not care what you thought.
Don't ask people, well, what did you think? Because why? Our minds are programmed to be critical, to find things that are negative, even if it's just to make us look smart, to make us look good, that, oh, okay, I'm a critical thinker. So we use this follow-up question, which has actually been created to make sure that you get a positive response. What did you like best about what you saw? And then after they tell you, then you can even ask them another great question. He says on page 81, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being 0 interest and 10 being ready to get started right away, where are you right now? That helps you to gauge like how interested, like, okay, if I need to give them some more education, some more information, or like you ready to go.
And that also lets the prospect know that you're not ready to sign them up today anyway, because you said right now. That implies that we're going to take another step. We're going to give you some more information if you're not ready right now.
Yes. Yes.
It's showing your posture also. It's showing them, okay, well, they ain't pressed to get me in, so maybe I need to take another look. Maybe I really need to look at this, because they ain't like, come on. You actually like, okay, well, that's fine. So where are you right now? What exactly can I do for you to help you get where you want to be?
So it's not about, because you are not desperate for business partners, and you can't come with a posture of desperation. You come with a posture like, I have an amazing opportunity. Let me see if you're right for my team. Let me see if you're right to be able to come in this, because what I have and what we're growing and what we're doing, we're changing people's lives, and we don't want just anybody in association with with us with this right here.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from that type of posture, make people like, wait, hold up, wait, let me get on board. So it says that it takes an average of 4 to 6 exposures to get somebody to join. So that's why it's so important to move people from exposure to exposure. But a professional's goal, as Mr. Worre shares, is to try to condense those number of exposures. Anybody want to share what he means by condensing those number of exposures?
Oh man, let me get to it.
No, I took from it that which is something I can accept accountability for. When he says condense, you want to, if you set up that meeting, from that meeting, you want to go right into the exposure. All, like he said, in that week, you want to do the video, you want to do a 3-way call, you want to do a meeting, you want to use everything you have, because if you tend to, not even if you tend to, but if you get them on a call and then a week and a half later, then you're sending them a video, and then another 2 weeks, you talk about a meeting, by that time, I'm like, well, look, I don't have time for all this now. You spacing all this out now. I feel like you taking time from me, because now you're not valuing my time, because you want me to keep stopping what I'm doing to look at this, when you could have just did all this at one time.
Exactly.
And then people are also distracted too, so they're busy. So if you spread this out, which I have been guilty of, they lose. First of all, they lose maybe the question that they had or the enthusiasm that they had at the time, because now it's a week and a half, or like she said, later, and whatever they had at that moment that you could have grabbed and answered and moved them forward on is gone.
And then one of the
law of diminishing intent. The longer you drag something out, the less energy there is, the less passion there is, and then it's like, okay, I'm not excited about it anymore.
Yeah, so say they lose excitement. They might have been ready. Who knows? You may have got them to an event that week, and they may have been ready to go. But because you drug it out, they're like, you know what? I don't know. Never mind.
And then we have...
He said, and then we have what?
And then we have to keep in mind that the naysayers are chipping in their ear too.
Oh yeah.
Is that why do you want to do that? There's no stability there. So the naysayers, whether it's family or friends who are broke just like they are saying different things in their ears, and so they're hearing that. Plus, life is continuing to happen, and we're not keep that excitement alive. And so, like you said, that diminished excitement steps in. So we have to keep that in mind too.
Absolutely. And all ignorant folks with good intentions and will end up talking them right out of their opportunity and out of what is available to them. So he also talks about questions and objections, because you're going to get that. People are going to ask you questions. They're going to have objections. And even if they brought out, sometimes it's just to sound intelligent. Like, I'm a critical thinker. I know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, our goal is only 2 things. And what are those 2 goals?
Education and understanding.
Yes, exactly. It's about helping blind people to see. So, he said, but I found that objections fall into one of 2 categories. The first is the prospect's limiting beliefs in their abilities. They aren't sure that they can be successful. And the second is a limiting belief in network marketing. They aren't sure network marketing will help them to achieve their goals in life. And so he shows that to be able to combat that, or those 2 objections, you can use empathy. And there's an actual formula that can be used, which is called feel, felt, found. Somebody tell me about feel, felt, found.
I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here is what I found. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I use that quite often, actually.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different aspects. Feel, felt, found. It's really a good formula.
Absolutely. Like, let me say, and I tell people this, all the time, because whether it's about like network marketing as an industry, because I was one of those ignorant people. Like, I was one of those people who did not understand what network marketing was. I thought it was for crazy folks. Like, I didn't get it. And so, so I guess, I know how you feel, not really understanding this industry of network marketing. And because I used to feel the same way. I felt that way. But what I found through actually coming and being a part of this industry is that actually it's a personal development program with a high compensation plan. That's exactly what it is. So, like, you can use this because, quite frankly, you've had some experience that matches this based off of the objections that they have had. And if your story doesn't align with that, then guess what? Use somebody's story who does. Because it's those stories that will make the impact, that will make the connection. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. And so it says, again, like going back to using those stories, and he talks about that, how powerful that is. So,
and I think that was something that Cedric has said at one of the events, that he had to borrow, I think, Mr. Bradley's vision until he got his.
And that's why it's so good to be able to get on, especially like the Sunday locker room call, because they'll share the experiences, they'll share the stories of people who have now hit directorship or people who have now hit different ranks in the company and what they had to go through. Or on the morning inspiration call, they'll share parts of their story. And guess what? Those parts of their story are available for you to use. Like knowing that Cedric White is our #1 income earner, and this man used to be a waiter at Papa Do's. Now you're making over $35,000 a month. Yeah, I'm going to use that story. Yes. So that brings us actually right into chapter 8, which is the skill number 5, helping your prospects become customers or distributors. Because we want to grow our teams, right? We want to grow our business. And the way to do that is to bring people into the business, share with them what a great product and opportunity that we have, and get them to do the same thing, that duplicatable process. So it says this skill is actually a natural byproduct of following up professionally. If you have good posture and you ask some good questions, you're constantly educating and helping people understand, this is what's going to happen out of that process. Right. So what the problem is a lot of times is that people aren't properly prepared as they are contacting people. They're not properly prepared to be able to share the opportunity in a way that is going to be inviting for people to come in. They're not following the process that the professionals do. So I want to commend each and every one of you for being on this call tonight, because it shows that your mindset is in the position to be able to do it the way that's going to work, that's going to be sustainable. That's huge. That's huge. He said, when Mr. Worre shared, this is on page 94, he says, I was more focused on being interesting than being interested. Like, I'm good. Like, I gotta make sure, I'm presenting myself just right and, doing it just right. And so, but people can feel that. People can know whether you're truly interested in them or you're just trying to look good yourself. And that could be the make or break quality, whether somebody actually joins you or they're like, nah. So what did he go out and do? He went and interviewed the top professionals to see, okay, what am I doing wrong? And what are you doing right so that I could change that? So he said, first, I learned the professionals are emotionally detached from the outcome. Please, somebody speak on this. Emotionally detached from the outcome.
You have
learning how to do that.
And my husband is sitting right here in this chair. That was my biggest thing, was stop putting my emotions in it, because I would get so upset. Well, you said you ain't want to work no more. And you said you wanted more money. Why don't you want to do it? Help me understand. I'm trying to show you. He be like, look, let it go. No, but that ain't what she said. And then, he's like, you over there, you really mad? I'm mad. Because this is what she
This what they said? Didn't they say that?
I want to walk away from my job. I don't want to miss nothing in my kids' life.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, you know, you ready? We got this meeting going on. Oh, well, it's not a priority. What you mean it ain't a priority?
Oh my God, how many people can resonate with that? You know, how many of us have been there, like, hold up. And then if somebody rejected it or said no, you feel it's a personal rejection, like you rejected me. You see, as a network marketing professional, we detach.
Yes, internalizing.
We let that go. Why? Because our job is to educate people and help them understand. As long as we did our job, we did what we were supposed to do. Whether you are ready right now to be able to move into your next level in your life, whether you're ready to make the changes you need within yourself, because that's all it is. It's about creating a different mindset. It's about taking new action. And if you're not ready for that right now, that has no reflection on me. That has nothing to do with me. I did my job. I shared it with you. I educated you. I helped you to understand. And what you do from there on out, baby, this is your life.
I can't want it more for you than you want it for yourself.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. So if you're still feeling, you know, got some residual feelings going on, you know, work on that. Remember that.
Yes.
We said number 2.
Yes.
They, as professionals, they have a very assumptive approach. They expect the person to join because their belief in that opportunity would benefit the prospect by doing that. It's so strong that I know that this is going to help you accomplish the goals you say you want, that I'm already in my mind, you in the business. Like, we going to convention together, you know, we going to London, you know, we about to go travel and go, you know, to Greece. Like, we going to Dubai, we having some fun, we building a team, you know, I already see you here. Because I know based on what you said you wanted, this is good for you. Now, you got to go back to number 1. If they don't join, that's all right. You did your job.
I like the last sentence. Many of them are sincerely shocked when a person decides not to get involved. What? No? You don't want to make extra money? You don't want to save on travel? You don't want to free yourself?
Or they say, or you mention it to them, and then they say this: "Oh, that's not something I'm interested in. No, that's not something that I do." But you just booked a trip to Puerto Rico. I'm confused. This is something that you do?
Okay.
Exactly. So you just keep on inviting them to learn more about the opportunity, and you just keep on working with that active candidate list, because you have so many people. There's over now 7 billion people in the world, 8 billion people at this point, new people being born every day. And there's so many people that you can't get tied up with, hey, this person isn't making that decision, because there's other people who are waiting for you. The people you are looking for are also looking for you. So he said, third, he said it was interesting to learn that those professionals, they promote themselves as much as they promote the product or opportunity. Meaning, they say, hey, you know what? You get me. Like, we're going to work together as a team. Like, we're going to do this, you know, and because people, it gives them comfort knowing that they don't have to learn something by themselves, that they're not alone. Like, didn't you feel that way when you came into the business? Like, I'm in business for myself, but not by myself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he said, fourth, always be prepared. Go to sleep prepared. Wake up prepared. Just do it. And fifth, he said they ask question after question after question, and they are great listeners, because truly they're consultants. And that's what we are. We're consultants. So just learn to ask, you know, positive questions that are leading questions that move people into a positive direction. And they even have some examples of some questions that you can ask that are there on page 97. So you guys might want to make note of that. Like, you know, pretty exciting, isn't it? You know, Did it make sense? Did it make sense to you? What did you like best about what you saw? Of course, which is the one that we use a lot in this business. But he talks about this 4-question close.
I love that.
This question number 1. This right here is brilliant. This 4-question close right here is brilliant. Question number 1. Somebody share with us. What is question number 1?
Based on what you've just seen, if you were to get started with this company on a part-time basis, approximately how much would you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time?
Now you're going to get from them, how much money do you want to make joining this opportunity worth your time? Like, okay, so they're going to throw out a number to you. Fantastic. Question number 2. Approximately how many hours could you commit each week to develop that kind of income? See, now you didn't throw out the number. What kind of work are you willing to put in to be able to get that number? That's huge.
Yeah.
What about question number 3? Somebody share with me, what's question number 3?
How many months would you work those kind of hours in order to develop that kind of income?
Because it's not going to happen overnight. Let's set some real expectations. It's not going to happen overnight. So how many months? Let's look at a long-term picture here. Are you willing to commit? And then it comes back with question number 4. If I can show you how to develop an income of what they said, they number, per month working what they said, their amount of time, hours a week over a course of how many months they said, would you be ready to get started? Now, you didn't give me all the answers. You didn't say what you were going to do. So this is an assumptive close and making it real for a person, putting it in numbers and dollars and cents. These 4 questions, you want to incorporate this in what you do. These are 4 amazing questions to be able to help people get to that close. And it even talks about on page 99, if you don't get a positive answer to those 4 questions, no problem. You know what we do? You go back and set up the next exposure. Set up the next exposure. That's it.
I think that this is actually brilliant because often we tell people what their expectations, our expectations for them are. We give them a number. Wouldn't you like to make this? Wouldn't you like to make that? And we throw out the figure instead of letting them tell us what they want to make. Because what we assume may not be what it is. They may just say $100 a month. It may not be what we're saying. So ask them what they want to do. Yeah, so much.
And then I like the
Go ahead.
Yes, I was saying. Then I like the part when there's those rare moments where we'll come up with an unrealistic number, like it mentions here. They say they want to make $10,000 a month, working 2 hours a week for 1 month. You know, that's extreme. But he was just real with them. He said, "I'm sorry, your expectations are too high. There's no way that that can happen, working 2 hours a week for 1 month. But if you're willing to change your expectations, then we can talk." So very honest and very forthright. No, that's not going to happen. But if you're willing to change your expectations, then I can help you. But otherwise, I can't help you with these expectations. I thought that was really real.
Exactly.
I highlighted too.
You want me to make you look like George Clooney tomorrow, and you know, like 700 pounds. Like, okay, I can't. I can't do
700.
Like, let's set up some real expectations here, some real, some goals, and I will help you to be able to do that. So thank you so much, Ms. Annette, for bringing that out, because that is such an important part, because sometimes people do have, this is a get-rich-quick scheme, this is some pie-in-the-sky thing, and it's not. Depending on the work that you're willing to put into it is going to be what you get out of it, because if you're a professional, this is a career choice. It truly is.
Changes your lifestyle, child. Changes your lifestyle.
Yes. So this brings us into skill number 6, which is in chapter 9, helping your new distributor get started right. You think, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just get all these people and bring them into business, and then deuces, I'm gonna see you at the convention. No, it doesn't work that way. It says professionals, they set proper expectations. 2, they help to get some quick results, get a check in somebody's hand. And 3, they continue to guide the new distributor through the many phases of our profession. So you can't tell somebody, hey, you're not in business, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And then as soon as they sign up, and you like, ghost. Right.
I love Michael Nelson. Can I tell you that?
Yes.
He is my book mentor. I love step-by-step guides. That's my favorite thing in the world. If you give me a guide, I can make anything happen. This was so okay, so if I provide my new business partners with this meeting, and we have this meeting, and we game plan, again, they're setting up their own expectations. So it's what you said, not what I said. Amazing. So simple, yet amazing.
Yes.
Like he said, that way, if you fail, you can't say you failed because of me.
Hello.
You failed because of you.
I love that whole, I just want to read that word for word to my prospect.
Oh, I suggest you do. I suggest you do. Because I'm like, hello from the other side. This right here is what is going to help to set proper expectations and get people out of the mindset of I am here to do it for you. No, baby. You invest $200 into a business because you have a goal for your life. Just like I invested my $200 into a business because I have a goal for my life. And yes, we work together, we support each other, but I can't do it for you, just like you can't do it for me. So he said, part 1, first you want to validate that person made the decision. Like, you made a great decision. Like, you made this choice and now you're in this business. Fantastic. Part number 2, let's set some expectations. Let's get really real right now. You are going to be the difference between your success and failure. You, not me. It said I can't do it for you. Like, I could put the buffet out. I can show you what the opportunity calls are. I can tell you when the morning inspiration calls are. I can tell you when the Sunday locker room calls are. I can tell you when the book club calls are. But I cannot make you eat.
Read the book for you. Can't read the book for them.
Exactly. I can't read the book for you. We could talk
I
about
put that up the other day as a status when I said, the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So guess what? I'm looking for thirsty horses because all y'all.
I love that. Baby, I love thirsty horses.
You put that on your boot. You put that on your face. I love it.
I love it. We said my job is to help you become independent from me as quickly as possible. Do you agree? That's a good goal. Let me get your confirmation. Let me get your agreement on
that. Goes back to when you did the first one and he talked about calling your upline and giving them that call saying, I thank you. I appreciate you showing me this opportunity, but I'm out.
Yes.
I may call you from time to time.
Yes.
But I got to do this on my own.
Yes. And that is what you came into this business for, to get duplication and to get the freedom. So you cannot become the end all be all for people and spoon feed and do it all for them and expect to be free. You won't be.
Because that was Mr. Rory's problem. He said he had an organization, but they were dependent on him. They only did something when he did something. They pushed when he pushed. They did when he called. When he worked, they worked. But Michael, Mr. Nelson, he had an independent group. He had duplication and he had freedom.
Yes. And what did he say? He said, you know what? And I love this part too. He says, and this is on page 104, he said, there's going to be some ups and downs in this business. He said, so when those times happen, when those bad times happen, when that happens with you, and it happens with everyone, how do you want me to handle that? I'm gonna get from you, how do you want me to help you? Because you're gonna get down and out, you're gonna get frustrated, you're gonna get aggravated, you're gonna get, depressed maybe a little bit, with things that happen in your life and then maybe in your business. And when you okay, I'm not getting on the calls, or I'm not showing up at the meetings, I'm not doing what I need to do to get plugged in, how do you want me to help you? How do you want me to handle that?
Michael's a genius. I'm telling you. Michael's a genius.
Yes. And so he talks about that game plan interview part 3. So he talks about a getting started checklist to be able to help people. So, because it's going to be very important that you help people to, one, form an emotional attachment to the product or service that the company has. And fortunately, we have a pretty amazing product and service. I mean, we get to travel around the world. We get to enjoy some deeply discounted high-end travel. Very easy to get attached to, but guess what? You got to use it.
Yes.
You got to try it out. You got to use it. So when's the last thing you booked, through your own site? What's the last time that you, benefited from your own product? Because once you have that experience, like us just coming back from Egypt and having that experience, going into the pyramids and having those guided tours and being at that hotel and tasting that amazing food, baby, you can't tell me nothing.
I just had somebody that I talked to the other day, and they were like, "Oh, well, no, I don't want to do the travel side. And I think Angel had this happen too. I just want to be a rep." And I'm like, "Well, okay, that's fine, but how are you going to sell a product that you don't know anything about?"
Right.
And they were like, "Well, I can do it. I just want to recruit." I said, "No, you're not understanding what I'm saying." Mm-hmm. I said, to put it simply, it's like you saying, "Oh, okay, I'm going to go out," me going out and saying, "I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell a Mustang," but I don't know anything about a Mustang.
You never been in one?
Sell one, and I don't know nothing.
Absolutely.
I said, you have to know the product that you're selling. So I understand you only want to pay the $19.95. But I need you to look at over here and see what the product is before you try to sell it to someone.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
You want somebody who really believes in what they're doing, really believes in the product or service. It's long past the days where, oh, I just get paid to endorse this product. And I say, oh my goodness, I love this thing and it's amazing. You should try it too. Like, don't nobody want to hear that anymore. Like, they want real, genuine stories of people who have tried things, who have gone through some things in their life and say, you know what, this really works. And why? Because I use it. I actually use it. Not just, oh, this sounds fabulous and buy 10 of them. Like, nobody wants that.
I'm not buying 10 of that.
Exactly. So step number 2, make sure that you are prepared to expose your prospects. And that means that you have to be prepared. Always be prepared. And then using the tools that are in place. Make sure that your new distributor gets connected, because you want to get them as independent from you as quickly as possible. So they get on morning calls, they're on the trainings, that they're on all of the things and tools that are available for them, and that they start feeding themselves, because they can't suckle on you forever. That's, people have to grow into the point where they start to like get up to the table and get their fork and knife and start to eat. You got to eat. And then 4, have a basic understanding of the compensation plan. You need to know how you're getting paid. You need to know where your money is coming from. And matter of fact, there's a great video in our back office, in the Planet Marketing office, that breaks down that compensation plan that Mr. Donald Bradley himself is actually explaining. And every opportunity that you get to hear the presentation, listen to it, because hearing it over and over and over again will be like, oh, okay, now I see how those 6 levels of team bonuses work. Oh, yep. You become a goal builder for your first level. Oh, then you become a 1-star director. Then you get your second, $10 team bonus. And you start to understand how those things interplay with each other and how you can maximize your money. So I'm sure here.
Well, Havilah, you all tell me, because I'm I'm learning the comp plan, but the way I've learned to talk to people about it was, when I say, okay, well, you get paid, $4 per level, and each level, I found that some people, they can't get the concept.
Mm-hmm.
So what I started doing is, okay, look at it this way. Our stadium here in Cincinnati holds 250,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
So multiply that by $4. You're getting paid $4 for each person you put in that seat. And all of a sudden, this glazed look just comes on their face.
Like, oh, I get it
now. Oh, okay. So where do I sign? What do I do? So, I mean, do you feel like that's a good way to just condense it and break it down?
Yeah, because you have to use illustrations. Like, you have to use examples that people are going to resonate with. When you just talk facts and figures, a lot of times that's going to go over people's heads. Like, even when we do the presentations, a lot of time for that particular piece about the residual income, about our 3x9 force matrix, first I'll start off on, because it's a residual income piece, I say most people are familiar with royalties in the music industry. Alicia Keys, when she created that album, she did that work one time, and then she keeps getting paid for it over and over and over. And that's residual income. So even to give people a connection to what does that mean? And then we talk about the matrix itself, and we use the example about it being an arena. Like, you think about this as being an arena. Our 3x9 matrix is our arena. And here we're in New Orleans, so we have the Superdome. So we use, just kind of like you did, we use that example of the Superdome and filling those seats, and you getting paid $4 per butt in every single seat. Would you be okay if you was getting $4 per butt in every single seat in that arena? Yes, you would be good. So using things like, and I go back to this, Jesus was the master illustrator, the master of using, metaphors and paralleling stuff, to make people where they understood what he was talking about. And we can use those same things, because again, we are here to educate people and help them understand. And you speak in a terminology or language that people can understand. So absolutely, that's perfect.
Keeping it simple.
Exactly. And then he talks about so that game plan interview, we see how important that is, because we're going to go ahead and move along a little bit. I see we are winding down on our time, but I want to make sure that we do get an opportunity to actually cover this information in there. But definitely review chapter 8. Get that game plan interview, like, type it out for yourself. So when you sit down with your new business partners, you are ready to rock and roll and go through each and every one of those steps and get them started right. So that brings us into chapter 10, which is the skill number 7, promoting events. This is one of the most powerful tools that network marketing has, is going to events. Yeah, I see you over there testifying. I see you with your hand raised.
For those business partners that just personal experience, I had the opportunity to attend our first national convention, and I can tell you everything that Mr. Worre says in this chapter is absolutely true. Yes. To be at an event surrounded by people who are like-minded, who think like you think, it gives you the fire you need. When you step outside, you're surrounded by that. And then it reminds you of why you did what you did, because these people did exactly the same thing that you did. It gives you the strength to go home and start it all over again, restart if you need to. And the energy that you experience at an event, it's unlike any. And first, let me say this: I've been in other events, in other businesses, in MLM, and this company is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. So, and you have to get
how we talk about leverage. How we talk about leverage. I even went to the point of leveraging my prospects because like we had issues with our vehicle. So I know you're interested in going. So tell you what, if you're willing to take this drive with us,
take your clothes off so you can go to.
Then don't worry about gas. We'll take care of gas. We just want to get you to this event. So we do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, we need to get there. We want you all to get there. So guess what? We can use your vehicle. We'll drive down and we can all be there.
There is so much power in like-minded people coming together into one space. You coming out of your environment that you are normally in and you going to a hotel because you're changing the energy center that is around you. You're changing the environment that is around you, and you're going into a place where people are supportive of the vision that you also hold. So that power of all of those like minds coming together creates an energy that is bigger than anything you will ever experience on your own. So that's why it's so important, and it will change your belief system. It will change the way you think about things and give you this renewed, commitment, this renewed motivation to go out there and make it happen. Because I will share with you all, before going to our first national convention, I was actually ready to quit this business. I was like, you know what? This was a great little experiment, You see the benefit in it, but I just there was some challenges that I was coming up against, and I wasn't feeling it. I was like, you know what, I'm about to get refocused back on some of the other projects and things that I was doing, and deuces to network marketing. Thank you, appreciate it. I'm done. And going to that convention, there was a breakthrough moment that happened for me, and as a matter of fact, it was when. And the last day on the stage, when that lady who, I can't, her name is escaping me, but the one who was Dr. Martin Luther King's assistant, when she came up and shared her testimony, it was like that from that whole week and all the information that was being poured into us, which I found very valuable. But it was like that was the aha moment. That was the catalyst. That was the straw that was like, okay, you're in the right place. Like you're supposed to be doing this right now. And it built back up my belief. It built back up my faith. It was like, okay, let's go. Let's run. Let's stop playing. So those events will do that for you. They will do that for your team. So you want to make sure that you are always promoting these events. You are always, and not just that you get there, because anybody else who gets there, their income is going to increase. They're going to continue to build. The people who don't make it to events are the ones who will eventually fall off. That's how powerful they are.
Yeah. That when he mentioned about when he wound up standing next to the top income earner in the company that he was in at the time, and he asked him, he was so nervous, all he could say is, what's the secret? And he points out that you need to be here, because next year half of the people that are here won't be here, and the year after that half of the people that were here will not be here. But if you make it your goal to be persistent about being at these events, I guarantee you will be a presenter on the stage at some point. You'll be a top income earner. And if we make it as important to our team members, how can you not succeed?
Exactly. So go into your back office. Find out when the events are happening, whether that's the weekly, meetings that the top income earners come out to, whether those are meetings in Atlanta or somewhere in a state that's close to you, like those Super Saturdays, double hitters, triple headers, those conventions. And you have until tomorrow to be able to get your convention ticket for $99. And then it goes up to $149. So make sure that you get your convention ticket. You take advantage of these opportunities, because that is the most powerful tool there is in network marketing. Don't miss out. Because again, people are going to do what you do, not what you say do.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't going, guess what? Your team going to be like, you ain't going. So that brings us right into chapter 11. Anything worthwhile takes what?
Time.
Yes.
It takes time.
Exactly. Anything of value is going to take time to develop it. And it says if you don't quickly grow as a person to that next higher level, it's on page 121, your income is going to come back down to the level of who you really are. You only get to make what you are.
We are not selling magic beans here. We are not selling magic beans.
That's powerful. You only get to make what you are. That's why people, you talk about the get rich quick scheme, when people win the lottery, you will statistically know that those individuals within a year, 1 year of winning all these multi-millions of dollars, are back to the same level of income they were before or less. They are more broke than they were before they won those millions of dollars. And it's because people have a thermostat. They have a thermostat of their financial worth, their financial value. And when you have more money than where you're at in your belief system, your money is going to come right back down. Just like when you leave a house and you open that door and it get a little too hot, guess what? The air going to kick on. You get a little too cold, the heat's going to kick on. The same thing happens inside of us. So you have to become the type of person, build yourself up to become the type of person who can handle that next level. That right there is, if nothing else, you don't leave out of here with this book of some information that you need, know that. You have to become the person that can handle the levels of success that you want. So they break down this 1-3-5-7 formula. Mr. Eric shares here on page 123. He said in 1 year, he says you can become competent, and profitable in the business that you're in. In 3 years, you will go from part-time to full-time. And typically within 5 years, you can become a 6-figure earner or above. And then in 7 years, it takes approximately, and again, there's rules, and exceptions to every rule, but in approximately 7 years, you can become an expert. So set the right expectations for yourself that you're not like, okay, in 3 months, bam, I'm about to be, a 9-star director. Let's keep
9-star.
Right? Like, let's keep it real.
9-star.
So what do you have to do? You have to learn. You have to continue to grow and develop yourself. So, and it says no experience, there's no bad experiences, there's no good experiences in life. There's only learning experiences. That's all there are. So you can model successful behavior. Mr. Eric right here is showing you what you can do to be successful. You have Mr. Cedric White. You have Mr. Orlando Moore. You have Tiffany and Walter Powell. You have Eileen Ross. You have Ann Jones. You have all these top income earners that you can model their behavior to do what they have done to be able to get the result that they have gotten so that you can get to that level. He talks about studying. What you doing right now?
Studying.
Right now. You all who are on this call, who consistently keep coming back, consistently keep feeding yourself, I guarantee you, I'm going to see you all the time. We'll all be at the time. Why? Because you're putting in the work. You're doing the things that it takes to be able to be successful. So whether that's reading the book, being a reader, going online, listening to motivational, videos, educating yourself about the industry, educating yourself about the product, going to your IntelliTravel back office, understanding about all of our preferred partners and how you could book these travels. Because Lord, travel is a world of its own.
Oh yeah.
It's a world of its own. But you have events, making sure you're showing up to those events, and, just all of these tools that are available. And we actually are going to be launching something in the next couple of weeks that is something very special for each and every one of you. So you're going to be on the lookout for some information coming to you very soon.
Well, that smile's way too big.
Yeah, I know. You're going to love it. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to have to get your tea, baby. Get your tea. Gonna love it. And it also talks about being careful of distractions. How easy is it to be distracted by people saying, oh no, come look over here at this shiny object. Oh no, don't do that because that's not gonna really work. Or, oh my goodness, the housewives are on and I gotta watch the marathon because I gotta catch up on the show. You're not paying your bills.
The biggest distraction for me, I can honestly say, today was my first day going back to work from being off of work since August. And I do 12-hour shifts. So when I got off of work, I told him, I said, I am so tired. I just want to go to bed. I don't want to do nothing else. That's it. No, I'm not doing nothing. Angel messaged me talking about something. You didn't send me the link to get on the Zoom for the night.
Oh, go Angel, go Angel.
I was like, oh yeah, let me send it to you. I came in, I said, oh shoot, I need to hook up. It's that time. He said, I thought you were sleepy. I said, it's okay. I ain't sleepy no more. Yes. I was so ready to go to sleep. But it's so easy to get distracted. It really is, especially with TV.
Mm-hmm. So that tells you right there, and I commend you for, hey, he's working that 12-hour shift and then still getting on and being committed to even participate in tonight's call and tonight's discussion, because anything that we want to be able to keep, we have to share it. So even as those comments are coming out of your mouth, it's also going back into your own ears. And that's helping to build up that mindset, build up that faith, build up that confidence to be able to keep on going, even when we are tired, even when we do have distractions coming at us. So I commend you for being on tonight. Matter of fact, I'd even talked with Miss Beverly earlier, and she's actually sick, but she's on this call tonight and she's participating with us. And those type of things, that example of excellence, that's huge. You know, and however many of you who are on here tonight who just got off from work and you're tired, you know, you just finished doing something and yet you're still here. That shows that you're committed to your growth. You're committed to living at another level in life. And guess what? You're going to have it. You're going to get it. It's going to take time. It's going to take action. But you're putting in the work, and that is what matters. That's huge.
Because it made me think back to where, you know, all of us have had issues, like we're trying to lose weight and different things like that. But a trainer told me it's not the days that you get up and go to the gym that count. It's the days that you don't want to go. Those are the ones that actually count. So when it comes to talking to prospects, returning those calls, returning those emails, you know, getting on the phone or doing those trainings when we know all we want to do is go to sleep. You know, when we fighting to stay awake, I can't do it on here because y'all can see me. But you be on the calls and you put a video and you like, ooh, what I miss? Wait. You know, being able to push through and having that accountability partner, because I will tell y'all, Angel keeps me on my toes. That board that she got up behind her, that whiteboard, she went out and got hers, and I had forgot all about it. And she called me yesterday, and she was like, look, my board up. I was like, oh, let me go get mine out the back. Let me go get it. Let me put it up. Let me write it all out. Let me put my goal on there. So, yeah,
Get you an accountability
in that time.
Get that person who is going to help you to drive forward even when you don't want to. Get that person that when you say, I'm going to make 4 to 10 calls a day, that they going to call you at the end of the day. Did you make them 4 to 10 calls? Like, where you at with this? You know, where you at with your goals? And you can be that same thing for them, because we need it. We need that support. We have to lock arms and help each other to continue to go, because life is going to come at you. So much stuff is going to happen. But when you have people who you know are in your corner and are not going to buy your story, they're not going to buy your excuses, they don't want to hear that.
Excuses too.
Yes.
You need somebody that's gonna do that. You're full of it. You know you're full of it. You know you're full of it.
And I love here on page 128, he says, it's very difficult to look good and get better at the same time. It says, instead of being afraid of how you look as you're learning and growing, be afraid of not taking action and living a life at a fraction of your potential. Be afraid of that.
Yes.
That is far more terrifying, I have to say.
Absolutely.
I think that's the other reason I push so hard because, like I said, I went back to work today and I've told people way before when I first got involved, I was like, oh yeah, give me about 2-3 years, maybe 4. I'm going to be done retired. Y'all won't see me no more. So my thing is,
right.
oh no, I got to keep going because I can't let them be like, well, I thought it's 6 years later. Why are you still here?
What happened?
What had happened?
Yes.
Why you? I thought you was gonna retire. What happened? Oh, that pyramid thingy didn't work out. Is that what happened? See, I'm not trying to deal with that. So.
Yeah, they said the best revenge is success, honey.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna show you my smoke. So it says on page 129 it says the plan, do, review. So you want to make a plan, do your plan, review your results, see what you can do better next time. Make your plan, do your plan, review your results, see what you can do better next time, and never stop that process. And you can use that in every aspect of your life, every single aspect of your life. And that is so true. And I think we definitely need to just address this briefly. Is he talks about disassociate yourself from toxic people. Get the negative people out of your life. If people are not being positive, they're not feeding you, they're not helping you to move in the direction that you want to go in your life, it's time for you to cut them off. It may not be easy for you to do that, but the benefit to you and to them is going to be well worth letting them go.
Let them go.
Chop, chop, chop.
What the young folks say? You need to cut it.
Cut it.
Yes. Yes. And in conclusion, this is chapter 12. Woo, we done made it. It said it's all worth it. Even the time commitment that you all gave tonight to be able to be here, to participate, it is all worth it. It said network marketing, it can be challenging. It could be emotional, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it because you can create an income for yourself and a career for yourself that is what you want for your life. Is that you can wake up when you want to, go to work when you want to, do the things you want to do with your life. And they say freedom because that's what we're all going after at the end of the day is freedom. But freedom isn't free. That's an illusion. You have to work for it. You got to put in the time, put in the effort, put in the work. And there's so many benefits that come from that. Like you can help touch people's lives. You able to use your time, your influence, your money to be able to help people, whether that's to contribute to charities or to be able to, support causes that are important to you. But if you're time broke and money broke and emotionally broke, you can't help nobody, not even yourself.
Nope.
So this gives you the opportunity to feed yourself, get to your next level, and help other people. And what better thing is there in the world than that? Mm-hmm. Really. So is there any other, thoughts or comments or anything that anybody wants to share as we wrap up this amazing GoPro, or maybe even any questions that anybody might have?
Ms. Havilah, can I make a comment?
My goodness. I was just thinking.
Are you still there with us? Hello, Miss Annette.
Yes, I'm sorry. It keeps.
It sounds like it keeps freezing up.
Freezing.
Yeah, because we're getting bits and pieces of what you're saying. And I know it's something powerful. I know it's something good that you want to share with us. Look. And so it's still freezing right
in the chat if it keeps breaking up.
Yeah, absolutely. What you can do is type in the chat box, and then we can share your comment by reading it out loud because I know it's something good. So definitely use the chat box down at the bottom, and you can share that. And I just want to share this one last thing that's in this book. It says the person that you become in this process. It says you'll learn how to face your fears. You'll learn how to solve problems. You'll learn how to feed your mind with positives and protect your mind from negatives. you'll learn how to grow stronger, and you'll learn how to lead. It's the journey that is everything. Everything. So go pro. So I want to thank each and every single last one of you for coming on here tonight, for sharing. We have gone through part 1 and part 2 of Go Pro by Eric Worre. I want to invite you all to come on next month, because our book for next month, I'm going to actually share the screen with everybody. Let me pull this up. Our book for next month. Oh, I see. Some of you
is ready. I love it.
Yes, the top 10 distinctions between millionaires and the what? Middle class. Yes, because we want to do some things very differently. We want to make sure that we are in the first category and not the second category. So that part 1 of that discussion is going to be happening on December the 13th at 7 p.m. Central right here on Zoom. Of course, you're going to use the meeting ID 512-056-1244. And part 2 will be on December 27th. So mark your calendars. Make sure that you are here and ready to, sip on your tea. And share all the great information from the book. Oh, Lord, it's upside down. Look, one of our, newly, let me shut up. Top 10 distinctions. So if you don't have this, it is available in bookstores. You can just walk into a Barnes and Nobles or a Books A Million or whatever, pick up a copy, or you can of course go online to Amazon and get it. And then the flyer also shows that our book for January, just if you want a little sneak peek, our book for January is Relentless: From Good to Great to Unstoppable from Tim S. Rover. And in February, we will be going through Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
Right here. He'll blow your mind.
Yes, he will. And even though I know we haven't got to it, but I will say this: your stick-wittable comes from your quitability. Your stickability comes from your quitability.
Yes. Quitted. Oh my goodness.
And for those of you who are familiar with Think and Grow Rich, because I want to share this with you all, because and for those, especially of those who are parents or who have nieces, nephews, or influence children in any way, your mentors, we want to be able to provide the next generation with the tools necessary for them to be successful. Because wouldn't we want to have learned some of the things that we know now back when we were younger? And I am so excited because the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and the Napoleon Hill, of course, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, they're now the foundation, now for the first time in history, is releasing a children's book based on those 10 principles, or the 17 principles for success from Think and Grow Rich. And that book is called The Amazing Adventures of Oliver Hill. And that book is going to be available on December the 1st. And so I'm actually put up some information about that. It'll be available on Amazon. So mark your calendars for Thursday, December the 1st. This book is going to be available, and this will truly be a history-making moment, because now our children, the next generation, gets to be able to get that head up in life. The things that make the millionaires and the billionaires, now we get to infuse that into our kids now.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So, all right. And without any further ado, if there's no other questions, we want to continue to feed our minds. And we will see you on December the 13th. That's the right date, right? I do have that correct. I hope so. See you on December 13th. Yes, for part 1 of the top 10 distinctions between millionaires and the middle class. I'm Havilah Malone. Mwah! Y'all have a great evening.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much. Good night, everybody. Thank you.